It's time for football, and that means we're talking sports. Horse racing, greyhound racing, and sports betting with your host, Kip Keefer. Don't just watch the action. Get out to Birmingham Greyhound Racing and put a bet on it. Here are today's tips and strategies to help you get in the winning game. Now here's Kip Keefer.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another big football weekend on Talkin' Sports. Kip Keefer here along with my usual partner, the legend, and we've got a legendary special guest sitting between us today. If there was a Mount Rushmore on Red Mountain instead of just that iron statue, no disrespect, Mr. Vulcan, but if we had a Mount Rushmore for sports and the contribution to sports broadcasting in this town, this guy would be in the George Washington position. He needs no introduction. He still looks the same as all those years he came into your living room and across your airwaves. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have for the entire show today the wit and knowledge of one and only Herb Winches. Herb, welcome to Talkin' Sports.
Thank you very much, Kip. It's an honor to be with you and the legend, and I guess when you refer to legendary, that means I'm old, which I qualify. But I'm glad to be here.
Legend, you were talking about when I mentioned we were going to get Herb on the show that you've got great memories of Herb being the guy, the go-to guy for sports here.
Yeah, when I was growing up, everybody my age, 40, 50, 60, Herb Winches was the man growing up. Every day at 5, every day at 10, Herb was going to let us know what was going on in sports. And it's such an honor and a dream of mine to be here on the set with him, Kip.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Well, Herb, we only have a couple of minutes but to kind of catch folks up, but all the years that you did broadcast television here, but to me, the most significant part of your career was you were on the absolute ground floor, one of the pioneers, really, of what's turned into just this booming industry, which is sports talk radio. You were the guy who got it going here in Birmingham with Sports Talk 690 on WJOX AM with the late, great Ben Cook. Just give us some memories of that whole process and what you kind of think back, a big picture of that experience.
Well, that goes back to 1992, and I went to the ownership. At the time, it was Dick Broadcasting Company, owned by a family, wonderful family. Alan Dick was the leader of that company. And I said, look, we're in Birmingham, Alabama, and sports is huge, especially college football. I said, let's do an all-sports radio station. And he said, what do you mean? I said, let's go all sports. Let's go 24/7. I think it'll work in this market. He said, are you serious? I said, yeah, but we need to change the call letters because in the days that was WVOK, which had another connotation that I won't get into, but it really wasn't respected that much. And I said, but the first thing we need to do is change the call letters. He said, well, what do you think? I said, I got a great name for it. Let's call it Jocks, J-O-X.
Wow.
Because guys are jocks. And next thing you know, we switched it from WVOK to WJOX. And as they say in the business, the rest is history. It's still going strong. It's one of the top 5 sports radio stations in America.
Legend, you certainly made your reputation on Sports Talk Radio, so you're sitting with the guy who got it all started there.
Yeah, there'd be no Firebomb show without her, would they? Without Jocks. So I appreciate it, and it's an honor. I never knew that. That's a great history to know that.
Well, and speaking of Paul, I'm so proud of his success and what he's done on ESPN, just doing a great job on the SEC network. Have a chance to watch him every week, and I really thoroughly enjoy what he's doing.
Yep. So let's talk about modern day. You might be officially out of the sports business per se, but I know you still are very much on top of it in all of your activities. And but like all iconic, success stories, you've done what the next natural step for a lot of guys is. You've gone into the restaurant business.
Started a restaurant down at beautiful Lake Martin. Started it 3 seasons ago.
There we go.
There's a little shot of me right there. That's the way I go to work every day, by the way. It's a good
you
way
said
to go
you
to
take
work.
trash out for a living.
That's what I do now. I tell people instead of talking sports and being on the nightly newscasts, I now take trash out for a living. And I got to tell you, it's been a great success. I've been very fortunate. My wife and I, Betty's my business partner, and we've just had a great time. I got the whole family involved. And the landing, I got a wonderful staff, including a chef that is just absolutely a 5-star chef working at a 1-star location. That's what I say. And I say that jokingly, but we got a beautiful location, and I appreciate the plug. And we just closed for the season. Last Sunday was our last day, and of course, we're seasonal. I'll be back next April and looking forward to it.
Well, let's shift gears and talk some football.
Yes, sir.
We got the man here with us. Our regular feature each week is the SEC recap of this time, Week 3, and we call that the good, the bad, and the ugly. There it is. Little Clint
I knew it was coming in there, Kim. It was coming.
That's right. So here we go with that. Fellas, I want to get both your impressions of last week. Herb, I know you mentioned you were at Jordan-Hare Stadium for the Auburn game. So
hottest I've ever been in my life.
A little warm, a little sultry down there. The good, the bad, and the ugly. First, if I ask you guys, what's the best thing you saw last week in the SEC, college or pro football, but specifically the SEC?
Well, in the SEC, you say Alabama. I mean, look, let's be honest here. Here was the gap, in my opinion, with Alabama and everybody else in the league, okay, the other 13 teams. This was the gap. After what I've seen for the first 3 weeks and the fact that Alabama has set a Southeastern Conference record, the first team ever to score 50 points in 3 consecutive games, I got the gap here now. And if you ask me what the difference is, he always recruits the great 5-star athlete. But to me, the difference is that quarterback, Tua, is a very special player. Nothing against Jalen Hurts. He's done a great job. He 26-2, led him to a couple of national championships. But right now, Tua is on the Heisman list, and I got him right at the top. This kid is phenomenal. Alabama they got great talent. We know every year they recruit nothing but 5 stars. So anyway, I would say the good, and really it's the excellent. Alabama, along with Coach Nick Saban, has separated themselves this far from rest of everybody else in the league.
What was the best you saw, Legend?
Well, I would say the good was the LSU Tigers. Here's a coach that was on the hot seat at the first of the year. We call him the Cookie Monster, Coach O. We said he was on the hot seat at the first of the year, and they wouldn't make the season, Kip, and they have beat 2 top 25 teams. Right now, the LSU Tigers has the best resume in college football. You have to give them all the credit in the world. Despite the doubters, he has proven that he can do the job at LSU. The LSU Tigers this week. We've
only got about a minute to go, so we got to go quick. I thought Vanderbilt acquitted themselves very well at Notre Dame and really represented the league well. They really did. Okay, Herb, the bad. What's the worst thing you saw?
Well, the bad is who the legend's referring to, and that, of course, is Auburn. You mentioned Coach O. As you said, he's been on the hot seat. He has now beat twice. Last year, we were down by 20. He comes back and beats Auburn and Baton Rouge. He's down by 11 starting the second half there at Auburn. What does he do? He comes back. Auburn holds them scoreless. They win the game with that late field goal. And the reason I say the bad is because Gus Malzahn, to me, is a major disappointment. Gus Malzahn, I don't understand some of his coaching. I don't understand some of the calls that are made, but again, blowing a double-digit lead to what I think is one of the less known coaches in the league in Coach O.
Yes.
So that's my opinion. I think Gus has been very, very disappointing so far.
We got to take a break. We'll finish up Good, Bad, and the Ugly and then focus on Alabama and Auburn when we come back. This is Talking Sports on ABC 3340.